Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, November 11th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. A few things here to update. And we should be good to go. Okay, looks good. Get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Oops, wrong spot. All right. Looks like we are good to go here. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up. Put it over here. Down to the 8 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15 minute. Down to the 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute. Looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, November 11th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. We'll know the direction of the breakout in about 6 minutes. And we'll see where we go from here. Hey, Daniel, morning. Hey, Kenny, morning. Morning, Paul. Today is a bank holiday. It's not observed for like anything else. It's just a bank holiday. So market's fully open today. That's what I thought too, but I did. I looked on pretty much everywhere I could look to make sure that it was open today. And it is. Hey, Johnny, morning. All right, so I think with my Apex accounts, guys, I'm just gonna take like all the scalps that I see for the most part. I'm not gonna be as careful with my Apex accounts. I'm just gonna take pretty much all the scalps that I see. So you guys don't have to copy them if you don't want to. I mean, you probably shouldn't. I mean, if I think they're good and I'll take them, I'll take them. But I'm gonna be a little less careful with the Apex accounts. because the scalps are good. I mean, they're like the liquidity pushes are good. There's so many entries that come up, and I feel like there's so many that we miss because I'm just a little too careful. I'll tell you guys if I think it's risky or not, but I think on the Apex accounts, I'm just gonna care less because they're Apex accounts. You know, they're not. Now that I'm trading my own personal accounts, I'm more careful with those versus like the Apex ones. So I'll try to take like if I see any good scalps, I'll take them and I'll call them out and I'll let you guys know. For the most part, but you should be aware of the strategies. So, you know, if you guys are not familiar with the strategies, just make sure to go to the website. Again, if you guys haven't been like up to date with the website, I'll be updating it over the next couple weeks. Hey, niece, how's it going? Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the course here. Because the course will cover pretty much all the strategy. You don't necessarily have to know all of them, but if you want a good idea of like how the strategies are applied and how they work and all that stuff, um, you know, these live sessions aren't necessarily where we're going to be teaching. So just just make sure that you guys are aware of those. Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, they're pretty solid for the most part. They are pretty solid for the most part. So anyways, guys, this is what the course looks like. If you guys haven't been on the course or if you guys are new here, just go to the website. Go to kodikaitrades.com. That's a website. If you can't find it, you know, go down to the description. It'll be there as well. Kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access. This is what the course looks like. Just make sure that you guys are familiar with the strategies. All the indicators are explained here. All of the more current strategies are explained right here. Directional strategies, sideways strategies, breakout strategies. And then all of the older strategies are even lower below. So if you guys are not familiar with the strategies, you know, just go back and review that on the website. I'm going to be taking pretty much all the scalps that I see for the most part that I think are good. So yeah, if you guys want to take part and take all the scalps, you know, feel free to go on there. I know I tell people to focus on one or two strategies, but now that the volatility is kind of starting to pick up a little bit, I think there's going to be a lot more opportunities for you guys to take here. So I'll keep my eyes open and paying attention to like a lot of stuff that's going on the chart so that we can take everything that comes up. And one other thing, guys. So you guys that are here on the Zoom, the support team is like automatically removing people who don't have a name for your username on Discord. I mean, not Discord, sorry, on Zoom. So just make sure that you guys have a username. I see there's a couple people here who don't really have a username. I know some of you guys just use your iPhone or something. Just go to your settings and put some sort of name there so that you can be identified in the Zoom because the support team is just pretty much removing everybody. I see one person, his name's user. You're probably gonna get removed automatically. I'm just giving you a heads up because that's typically what the support team is doing. And then there's a couple of people who have iPhone usernames. Just make sure that you have some sort of name where they can identify who you are. Because the support team will be removing pretty much people who don't have any usernames. So I just want to make that clear. So if you guys get removed, just understand it's an automatic thing that the support team is doing. So, all right, guys, we got market opening up shortly. Breakout for today is looking like a sell. Yeah, so breakout for today is looking like a sell. Let you guys know if it changes. Right now, it is looking like a possible sell. Hey, Jamie, morning. Morning, Jay. Morning, Shannon. Morning, everybody. All right, we got market opening up in 15 seconds. We got market opening up in 10 seconds. Breakout for today is going to be a sell. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is open. So we're gonna spike right now to the upside. I got stopped out. Fuck. Not the way I wanted to start the week with the breakout, but that was the breakout for the day. It was a sell and price spike to the upside. I'm not gonna be surprised here if it comes back down, but let me just put this in our stats for the day.
Stop filled.
Stop filled for the breakout, unfortunately. All right, so with that being done right there, I'm going to look for scalps following it. The volatility right now is pretty crazy, but I don't think it's like that bad, at least not yet. So not exactly the way I wanted to start off the week with the breakout, but it's okay. That's just how it happens sometimes. Sometimes the breakout's going to spike in one direction or the other. I was thinking because price over here was a bit overextended, it's going to come back down. So I do think this may come back down from where it's currently at, and it may just come right back down. If we start to get this volatility that's a little too high, then we might start to go back to our 100 TP stop loss. Because right now, for the reason why we changed to the 50-50 was because volatility was so low and it was a sideways market. Now the volatility is really high. If this continues to push up, I don't think it would have made a difference if it was a 50-50 or 100-100, because we can see over here, if we did have the 100-100, it still probably wouldn't have played through. Yeah, still would have blasted through. So like I said, for my Apex accounts, guys, I'm going to be taking pretty much all the scalps that I see that I think are good. I'm not going to be as careful with my Apex accounts because it's just Apex, like for me personally, I think with Apex, it's something where you can take riskier trades. Before, when I was only trading Apex, it was different because that was like all I was trading. But now that I'm trading with my personal account, the the Apex can be used as like more so for like fun trades for the most part. I don't want to call them fun trades, but yeah, basically that's what they are. There's no entries here right now. Price is climbing up, as you can see, and we will see where this ends up going from here. Yeah, this is just a lot of post-election moves right here. If you guys have seen the market's kind of like all over the place, like in a good way. So everything is super bullish. The problem with price being so bullish like this is that it's going to come down eventually, right? So over the weekend, price kind of skyrocketed. If you guys have been following cryptos, Bitcoin's up like to 82,000. It's up pretty high. So there is just a lot. Like you don't want to ride the wave, right? You don't want to ride the wave too much where you get overextended. Like right here, it's overextended. I wouldn't try to take any buys here at this point. I think we're at all-time highs. Let's see. Yeah, so this is another reason why I thought the sells would have been okay today too, because of the all-time highs right here. I mean, we're literally at the all-time high. I mean, price is gonna have to come down at some point. So let me go over here real quick to the pre-market movement. Just kind of want to see how it's moving over here. So if you look over here from last night, there wasn't really much movement at all. Asia session, it was pretty much flat. Yeah, so looking over here at the AMD, I know some of you guys ask about this, the AMD analysis. The AMD analysis over here should have been a sell as well. As you can see over here how price was neutral. Right here, price kind of climbed up a little bit, and then you look for the reversal back down to fill this here. So I know some of you guys like to look at that AMD model. I don't use the AMD model, but it's a good confluence to use if you're taking a certain trade. So we'll leave the breakout chart over here as is. I'm now going to look for some possible entries for some scalps. So I'm going to clean this up right here. The liquidity here got hit, of course. Liquidity here got hit pre-market. Man, this is a crazy spike right here on open. So looking at how the candles are moving here previously, this is pre-market. Candles are moving about like 20 points. Market open right here. Huge spike to the upside for almost 200 points. But yeah, what comes up must come down eventually. And it looks like it's going to start coming down right here. Opening price is way down here. So if price does come back down, it's probably going to come back down and retest this opening price. That's going to be the target price point for a correction. Let me check the news for today. This is Fed week. So we got the Fed pretty much speaking all day, every day this week. We have Fed Waller speaking at 7, Fed Barkin speaking at 7:15, Fed Kashkari speaking at 11, Fed Harker speaking at 11 or 14, which is, what is that, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Fed Barkin speaking at 2:30 or 1:30. We got CPI tomorrow, Fed Logan speaking tomorrow. Fed Kugler speaking on Thursday, Fed Barkin speaking on Thursday, gas stock change, initial jobless claims, PPI, inflation news, retail. We have a lot of news this week, actually. So it is Fed week, and it's also a lot of inflation news. We have CPI, inflation rate month over month, core inflation rate. We have PPI, producer price index, and then some jobs data on Thursday. Yeah, this is it's kind of a crazy market now. It kind of reminds me of like the COVID market, right? If you guys oh, actually, thanks, Daniel. Day off. Yeah, actually, my bad, guys. There's no news today. This starts tomorrow. So there's actually no news today. Today is Veterans Day. It's observed for the banks, but not observed for the market. But yeah, looking at how the market here spiked up this morning, this kind of reminds me of COVID. If you guys traded with me during COVID time, there was a lot of these big spikes. The good thing with these spikes here is that it creates a lot of volatility. This is good for our breakouts, right? Um, so although the breakout didn't work in our favor today, it is what we are for the most part looking for. We want the breakouts to happen like this because that's what makes the breakouts, right? Looking for some entries here. There's not really much to take at the moment. If you guys want to take some, let's see, the only thing I could think of here that would have came up would be a momentum pullback scalp. Price pushed up right here. Retrace to this point. Entry would have happened right here at the 70 mark. Personally, I wouldn't have taken the entry there because of the I mean, I'm just waiting for this to come back down for a retracement, like an actual retracement. This right here, we had a couple of red candles, but it's not an actual retracement where price actually came down, right? We need price to like actually come down and then come back up, like a W pattern like that. I'd be careful chasing these buys here because, like I said, we're at the all-time high, guys. So you want to be careful about chasing it because eventually it's going to turn around. I think right here, yeah, on opening candle, we were actually at the all-time high already, it looks like. Almost. Yeah, and this candle is huge though. So this is the opening candle right here. This candle pushed up over 200 points. 210 points so far. And I was thinking of taking like riskier trades today on my Apex accounts, but now that I'm seeing how far this pushed up, I don't know if I want to take riskier trades now at this point because it's super high up. You know, you think about this is creating a big range. So if price comes back down from right here, it's got a big drop to come down to, right? 200 points, 208 points. So I would just be a little more cautious with your entries here, specifically for buys. Like the buys are good, but the thing is with the buys here, the problem is that you might get caught in the swing down, right? So what I would look out for here is look for the consolidation. When you see a consolidation start happening here, that's where you want to be extra careful because when the consolidation happens, it's going to break out one way or the other. Like once it starts to consolidate sideways, it's going to break out down or it's going to break out up. So you could get really lucky or get really unlucky. It just kind of depends on how luck is on your side, right? Because you can't really predict where price is going to go once it starts to consolidate. Yeah, I'm surprised this thing is still climbing up like that. So I'm going to wait for this here to kind of smoothen out. I mean, even if price comes back down for a market flow V2, I might just wait a little bit because sort of depends on the price action here. There's no liquidity up here, of course, because we're at the all-time high. Price has never been up here before. It's pretty high up. This is a clean chart. Like I'd like to mark up levels in here, up here to like see where we can maybe see price to go, but it's so far up that I'll just mark up these levels right here. All right, so price is currently at the 550 right now. There's nothing. I would mark up some stuff here for the SR chart, but like price is so high up that there's no zones up here. See all the zones are down here at the bottom? There's just no point in marking SR zones because there's nothing here to really. This is a daily chart. Even if we use a daily chart, it's still super high up. So we're pretty much in open space right now. Yeah, it's crazy how high it's up right now. So this is a daily time frame. These are pretty much the support and resistance marks, levels that have been marked up since basically this whole year from January. See, D4 is asking if I trade NQ. No, I only trade YM. I stick to one asset. With NQ, it's just a little too choppy for me, so I don't like it as much. I mean, I've been trading YM live every day for like I think 6 years now. So for me personally, I just stick to YM. I've tried it. I've tried NQ before. The strategies work fine for NQ that we apply here for YM as well. It's just a little more volatile, so you could get choppy. You can get chopped out a lot easier. But there are people here in the group who use the same strategies for YM. So I mean, if you want to see the strategies that we do here and convert them over, or not even convert them over, just apply them on YM or NQ, you can. It's just I personally don't trade YM because it's too choppy for me. Let's check NQ right now, actually. Yeah, see how choppy it is right here? It's like it goes back and forth a lot. I don't really like that where price just goes back and forth too much because the thing is you can enter a sell here and you can easily get chopped out. There's nothing wrong with NQ. It's just from my preference, I don't like to trade NQ. Also, the calculations for points are different on NQ. So that's another reason why I don't like trading NQ as much. Terrence, all right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. This month, I'm only going to stick with the breakouts due to job and time restrictions. Yeah, perfect, Terrence. I think it should, well, I mean, it's pretty smooth as is now. It's just we're on the opposite side. But yeah, we'll see you here tomorrow. Man, the price still has not come back down yet. I'm trying to take some scalps here, but I just don't have any opportunities at this point. So let's see what we got here. Price is still climbing, guys. It's getting to that higher point. So we have this chart over here with all the tools. The chart with the tools isn't really going to be too useful right now because it's so far out. Um, if you guys are looking to take a market flow V2, entry would happen right here at the 550 mark. Again, I would be careful taking any entries here right now. If you guys want to take it, I'll just mark it up for you guys right there. I probably will not take it, at least not yet. If I change my mind, I'll let you guys know. But I think as of now, I'm gonna just wait. I'll let it retrace down a little bit and have it continue up higher. Um, yeah, so this thing's been pushing up new highs since market open right here. So there's a high on this candle, push up to this one, push up to this one, pushed up to this one, this one, this one. And it's literally been pushing new highs since. And there's a high right there now. So if you guys are looking to take the market flow V2, it's going to happen right here at the 550 mark. This is basically going to go hand in hand with the levels entry or the level strategy for those of you who are familiar with it. So it hasn't filled yet. Again, if you guys are taking, I'm just marking it up for you guys here. I'm not taking it myself, at least not yet. Price is just way too high up right now. So it looks like it's filled now. Again, I'm not in this position, guys. I'm just following here to see where it goes. I'm waiting for that retracement first. Um, like I said, it's way too high up, and price is going to have to turn at some point. If it flips back up, I probably anticipate it to push back up. So if it doesn't actually close with the sell signal, then I'm expecting it to probably push up higher. If the sell signal closes, then it's probably going to come back down further. All right, so I'm going to take this out of the way. The sell signal now closed. What I'd be looking for here is now a continuation. So I look for price to swing back up. See if this is a V1 variation. No, it's not lined up together. So here we go with the actual retracement that we were looking for. So price is now starting to retrace back down. Again, like I said earlier, guys, there's a couple different entries that you can look for the scalps. If you guys are not familiar with the scalp strategies, go back to the website, pull up the course, the free course if you want, and it has pretty much all the strategies here listed. So we'll probably try to look at as many as we can find. Right now, we'll probably look for some V1 variations because we want to see a reversal back to the upside or a correction back to the upside. So basically what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for a double body or a double wick to happen. So look for price to come down a little bit, look for that double body, double wick, look for the reversal back up, and then look for continuations on top of that. All right. So everything here is kind of like a storyline. You have a V1 variation. It's going to identify as a reversal pattern or even a CV pattern if you can find one of those. V1 variation, CV pattern, look for the reversal. Once the reversal happens, look for price to climb up. So once it climbs up, look for the continuation. You can find breakout V3 continuations. You can find pivot scalps. You can find market flow V2s. There's a lot of entries that you guys can look for here as price continues to, obviously make its way back up. So I'm just gonna go with the flow market. If I see anything good here, I'll let you guys know. I'll try to call out as many things as I can see. There's nothing here right now though. So we got price coming back down. Now it's starting to swing back up. There's no V1 variation here, so we don't have any reversal pattern here yet. The thing that you want to be careful for here is a possible M pattern, right? So there's two patterns that may play out here. You may see an M pattern and price may come back down further, or you may see a W pattern, see price come back up. But they all kind of line up with what we're looking for here. So we're looking for a V1 variation pattern, basically a reversal pattern to confirm the continuation to the upside. Otherwise, we wait for price to come below the pivots here and then return back to the opening price. I mean, ideally, I'm expecting price to come down because it's kind of due to come down, of course. But we'll see if this here actually comes down or if it continues to climb back up. So there's a possible CV pattern here that's setting up, guys. There's a low over here with the red candle. There's a possible smaller green candle here closing. So if you guys want to take this as a CV pattern, I mean, you guys can. Again, it's just really up to your own preference if you guys want to take these riskier strategies. But this is a possible reversal pattern that is starting to set up here. I could probably take this on like a small one or just like one account for Apex. Gonna be kind of hard to tell with how the size is moving here. Let's see, I'm just gonna take this on one account on the Apex and see how the CV plays through. Candle's gonna close right about now. So Like I said, I'm just taking these riskier scalps on the Apex accounts, guys. You guys shouldn't follow these if you're not familiar with the strategies. These are like I'm basically going to look through pretty much all the strategies that are coming up. So this is just one account here. I guess for the Apex, I can just do one account at a time just to see how these here kind of play through, because you can take riskier. Like for me, since I'm trading my own personal accounts now, I'll trade riskier on my Apex and just kind of like take scalps as they come through. Versus with my personal account, I'll stick to the breakouts and I'll just follow that as price continues to come through. There's a CV pattern right here. So this is a little riskier because you're basically catching the bottom here, right? So this is what we consider a CV pattern. It's a low with the red candle followed by a smaller green candle. This candle wasn't actually that small though. I was hoping it would close a little smaller, like half the size, but it didn't, of course. It closed here a little bigger, but still smaller than the red candle there. So for these specific entries on Apex, what I'm doing with these here is I have my trailing stop still set up. So price may come up, and then if it reaches 10 points, or 11 points, the stop loss is going to get moved in profit. So it's basically set at a 30-30 TP stop loss with a trailing stop set to 10 points. So if it does move in profit, you'll see this sell stop right here automatically gets moved up higher. So just a heads up, guys. You guys don't have to take these trades here, of course. Like I just said, I'm going to be taking riskier trades on the Apex accounts because, and there you go, stop loss is moved in profit. Or did it move in profit? I think it moved in profit for like some accounts. That was weird. It didn't fully move up. Or one account, actually. Oh, because I just have one account running. All right, I'm gonna have to manually move this up. Forgot I had the copier linked on here, so I don't know if it fully moved up. All right, so I had to manually close out of that one, guys, because for some reason
order filled.
The stop didn't get moved up. I didn't want to risk it. But anyways, some profit right there on that trade. You can see here, here's where I exited, guys. So I entered right here, exited right there. I probably should have held on to it longer, but the stop function did not work. So I need to just manually watch my Apex accounts just in case. Yeah, because it's sometimes the stop feature doesn't work, which is kind of annoying. If this here closes with a green candle, this is going to be a breakout V3 continuation if anybody is looking to hop into that as well. Let's see. This right here is going to be a breakout V3 continuation. So like I said, guys, I'll trade the old way, or not the old way, but basically the way we've traded in the past, where pretty much look at all the scalps here. For my Apex accounts, I'm going to take a little more risk. Because they're Apex accounts, you know, if anything happens with the Apex accounts, I could always just get another one. So with Apex, I'm going to take more risk. For my personal accounts, I'm going to stick to the breakouts. All right, this candle's going to close in about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So this right here is a breakout V3 continuation.
Order submitted.
That's the thing that I don't like about the market orders is the fact that I'm never going to get perfect entry for these, of course. Yeah, Barack said would have been a sweet triple. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen triple confluences, but I always miss them because I'm not actively looking at the charts. So I'll look for those too. I mean, I'll look for everything. I'll look for V1 variations. The entry I took down here, guys, was a CD pattern. And then this right here is a breakout V3 continuation. And it was also a pivot scalp too, because the buy signal closed right there. I'm hoping that the stop loss will move in profit this time once it reaches 10 points. Kind of annoying when I have to watch it manually. Nice, Daniel there got it for 10. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking if I should just go for the 10 because, well, I was hoping the stop loss, it doesn't sound like the stop loss moved in profit for mine because it did hit 10 points right there. But I don't know. I'll leave it as is. I'll just take it as is here. And if I want to make changes to the TP stop loss, I'll just go back to the original 10. But right now I'll leave it at 30-30, and then I will, um, I'm hoping the stop loss is going to move in profit. Because if not, I just would have to set it to the original, 1030. But 1030 is fine. There's nothing wrong with the 1030. It's just I would like to go for more than 10, right? In some instances, especially the time right now because the volatility is a lot higher. So ideally, if I can go for more than 10, then so be it. I'm gonna see right here if it moves up though. I think also because my entry wasn't the super greatest. I'm gonna see here if it actually moves my stop loss and profit. If it doesn't, then I think because of the volatility, the trailing stop just isn't functioning how it should be. Volatility is a little slow right now. I think this keeps things exciting too, anyways. Since it's an Apex account, I don't really worry about too much about it. And it keeps for the most part, keeps the trading a little more exciting. I feel like before we would get kind of bored here on the chart because we wouldn't take anything, right? We'd be a little too careful, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be conservative or careful, but a lot of you guys come here for the scalps, of course. The scalps are really this is where I shine the most. So we'll kind of trade how we did like back during the COVID days. I remember back then we used to make a ton of profits because we would scalp literally every trade that would come up. And it wasn't just me, it was a lot of people in the group, right? I'll try to squeeze in some liquidity pushes here and there as well. But I mean, we'll see. I think this will keep us more engaged in the market instead of kind of just waiting around, hoping for things to happen. Here, we're kind of just going to take action, when we do have entries that come up and appear. Right now, there's nothing going on, though. You can see how price here is literally pretty flat. Looks like price wants to break out to the upside, though. I think it wants to come up and test the highs right here. There's liquidity sitting there as well. So this is kind of like this is kind of a benefit for us because if price pushes up to this liquidity, it'll spike right through to the TP right there, of course. Right. Okay, stop loss moved in profit that time. So it did work this time. As you can see, my stop loss automatically got moved up right here. And let's see if we can go for the full 30. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So
Order
yeah,
filled.
there we go. It worked out this time. The last trade it didn't work where the stop loss moved in profit. This time it did. I got the full TP on this one. So like I said, this just becomes more fun because we're more engaged with the market. I'm looking at every entry that comes up. It hit liquidity right there, perfect, blasted right through, like I said, and went straight to my full TP. So yeah, if you guys want to take these entries, feel free to take them. I'll call them out as I take them, and I'll tell you guys where the entries are coming up from. So there we go, two back-to-back wins right there. I took a CV entry right here. I'll put a little note here too, so I can know. CV full TP. Let me fix this. CV full TP. Pivot scout full TP. That's pretty solid. BB3 full TP. All right, so now that we got those marked up right there, next thing we can look for is possible market flow V2, which would happen right here. Let's see, Daniel said, not sure if the trailing stop is fast enough if price touches it and doesn't stay above. Yeah, I think that's a problem, Daniel. So I just got to watch it manually to make sure that it doesn't happen for me. It's looking pretty solid right now. Okay, so let me put this over here real quick as we continue. Okay, so if you guys want to keep up with my profits as well, I'll try to update them here in the Discord. So this is currently where I'm at. I took two trades. So I took the breakout V3 continuation for the full 30 points. I locked in 1,500 on that. And then I took the trade earlier, the CV for about 400. So I'm up about 2,000 per account right here. So not too bad so far. Yeah, I'll try to keep up with whatever's going on here. All right, so we have a new liquidity up there. If you guys are looking to take a market flow V2, entry is going to happen right over here at the 90 mark. Again, this is kind of tricky. Where price is current, so I'm okay with these trades right here that happen down the middle. But when we're at the all-time high, I would be a little careful about some entries right here, guys, because like I feel like this is going to come back down. So I don't know if I'm going to take the market flow V2 right here. I would rather take trades in between. So I'm okay with trades coming down and then coming back up. So like earlier, I told you guys there's a storyline, right? This is probably going to be the riskiest entry is going to be the V1 variation or the CV pattern because this is the first leg. So price comes down right here. I took the risk on this right here and I took the first leg. And then from there, you can see the trade start to follow through. See, once you have a reversal pattern right there, you can follow through with the pivot scalp and a BV3, or you can follow with market flow V2. There's just a lot of different opportunities here that you can take. And they all kind of right here line up with it. So there's just a lot of different opportunities here you can take. It's really up to your preference. But for me personally, if you can, you don't even have to take the first one. I did take the first one here because I had confidence in this move. But if you don't take the first one, you can wait for the follow-up, right? You see a CV pattern, a V1 variation pattern. You're like, okay, I feel confident that this is going to follow through. And then you can take the pivot scalp or you can take the BV3 like I did. Either way, there's a lot of different opportunities here. So again, right here, there's a market flow V2 that's starting to set up. Entry is going to happen right here at the 590 mark. If you guys want to take it, again, you don't have to take it. I think this here is a little risky because price is at the all-time high. But if you guys want to take it, I'm marking it for you. I'm not taking this myself. If we get a market flow V2 that's like down here, then okay, I'll take it. But I don't like taking trades that are too high, like near the all-time high, of course. Let's see, two trades. Say what's up, Kodi Kai. Caught some banger moves on NQ this morning, and I'm done for the day. Thought I'd check out your live. Yeah, no, definitely two trades. I took these two trades right here. Well, there was three trades that came up. I was only able to catch two of them though, this one and this one, and that's pretty much my profit for the day. Our breakout unfortunately didn't hit for the day. It's just one of those days. Like it went the opposite, of course. I thought because we're at the all-time high, price would have came down, but it just kept climbing up higher. So now I'm just scalping my way through. Scalping my way through the rest of the market for today. Was out my hedge laptop. All right, so laptop's done with. All right, so the market flow V2 actually has not filled yet, guys. You can see over here, it still has not filled yet. Again, if you guys want to take it, it's probably moving up now. So it's actually right here at the 600 mark, or not yet. It's still right here at the 590. But if price continues to climb up higher, it'll probably be at the 600 mark. If the sell signal there closes, there's no more entries here for market flow V2. You would just wait for the next buy signal to come up. Still hasn't closed. All right. So there's nothing here right now. See our price still consolidating. Um, how far did I push from this liquidity? 30 points. There's liquidity sitting right there. It's liquidity, but it's also the all-time high. So I would be a little cautious, about the entry. If you guys are looking to take anything there. Yeah, Shannon said it was a nice trade. Yeah, no, definitely. Today's been pretty solid. I think moving forward, it's going to be pretty solid for the scalps, as long as you guys can pick the proper entries. Um, like I said, you just have to look for the reversal patterns, and then you can look for the continuations after that. It's not super, super difficult. All right, so it looks like it would have filled here. If the sell signal closes, though, you're supposed to close out for a small profit, break even, something like that. Like typically, if I see the red signal like that flickering so much, I wouldn't take any entries because it's indicating that price does want to reverse back down. Um, so again, if you guys want to hold on to the position, feel free. It looks like it might, if the sell signal closes, you have to close out of this for a small profit, small loss, break even, somewhere around there. The 10-point move here, it looks like it didn't really swing up yet. And again, it looks like the sell signal here is going to close similar to earlier. So I'm going to move this out of the way because the sell signal is about to close. And then I'll look for the same pattern here that we had earlier. So I'll look for the reversal from the downside, and then I'll look for the continuation up higher. So this right here might be a CV pattern, actually. Again, if this candle here closes green, never mind, take that back. The low has been pushed down lower. So again, I'm looking for another reversal pattern down here. So similar to what I said earlier, I'm looking for that W pattern. But the reversal down here is going to identify the first leg. So I'll see here if a CV pattern comes up or a V1 variation or anything like that. All right. So there is nothing here right now. Let's see, user is asking, can you show the rules for a CV? So for the CV, basically what you're looking for here is you're just looking for a low. If you're looking for a buy, then you're going to look for a low with the red candle, and then you're looking for a smaller green candle to follow it. It's like an inverse engulfing candle. So you want the low candle here to be engulfing the following candle, which is a green candle, and that's going to be a CV pattern. On top of that, you want to make sure that there's a pending momentum. So right here, you had a sell signal. You're basically, the CV pattern is a reversal pattern. It's called a consolidation variation because you're just looking for price to consolidate. You're looking for that inverse engulfing pattern or engulfing candle, I guess. So you're looking for an opposite signal, which would be a red signal like this. You're looking for a bigger red candle to be the low. Right here, you're looking for this big candle to be a low, and then you're looking for a smaller green candle to follow it. Once you have that following green candle, that's where your entry is going to happen. So the real catalyst here is a sell signal because you're looking for this here to be overextended basically and for it to be done pushing down. So you want it to get pushed down a little bit and then have this basically exhausted. So you want this bottom push to be exhausted, and then the CV pattern is identifying the bottom. And that's kind of what we're looking for here. We have the sell signal, price is pushing down. We're looking for this push down to be exhausted. And once this movement to the downside is exhausted, then it's going to likely swing back up. right? And that's basically what we're looking for right there. It's basic price action. So it's, you're following a price action move here, but we're just using my tools and my indicators here to identify where the direction is going. Because you can do this without the indicators, of course, but it's going to be a lot harder because you don't really know where the retracement or reversal is happening. Like right here, we know this is a retracement because the trend is bullish and we have a sell signal, which is opposite, right? If the trend was bearish and we had a buy signal, then that would indicate a retracement, not necessarily a reversal, but a retracement. So as price gets lower and lower, as it gets down to the lower pivot right here, obviously pivot 4, at this point, this is kind of like, okay, this might be actually reversing at this point, but we'll still see. I'll kind of see what I feel when price gets down to there. Right now, it looks like price is trying to come back down. So this may be okay, never mind. This is not a CV pattern. I mean, this could be a CV pattern, but I wouldn't take it because you can see here that it was initially bigger than the red candle, and now it just dropped out a little bit. So it lost its power. So this is kind of similar to what a CV pattern would look like. It's just you want this green candle to be smaller than the red one, like what happened right here. This one isn't smaller, so I wouldn't consider this a CV. This would be a V1 variation if it was a double body, but it's not a double body either. You can see right there that they're not on the same level. So not taking the trade here, of course, but this is kind of similar to a reversal pattern that we would be looking for. It just isn't lined up properly. All right, so we'll probably see this drop lower. As it drops lower, we'll start to see if there's another CV pattern they may set up down here. Barack said, I noticed that YM and NQ are currently negatively correlated. I wouldn't think that, bro. I mean, you can see that, but I think that's a dangerous way to think because they're like not correlated at all. So they might be moving opposite, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're correlated, right? Because the thing is, NQ is a top 100 tech stocks, and YM is a top 30 overall stocks. So they're not really correlated. There's maybe like one or two stocks that are kind of lined up that are tied in with them, like maybe Nvidia. That's probably one of the main ones that's in YM. But Nvidia doesn't encompass like the entire NQ index, right? There's only like one big 10 tech stock that's in YM. So that's why like you can't really correlate them because I mean you can if you want. If that's your strategy and you want to correlate them that way, I would just be careful because I see people say that all the time that they correlate, but they don't. The only two ones that correlate are S&P and the Dow. NASDAQ is like opposite. And the thing is, I don't think they correlate that much because the Dow is up 400 points while NASDAQ is down 30 points. Like, so I don't think they're correlated at all. If they were correlated, this would be down 400 points, right? So it's only down 36 points right now. And the Dow is up 416 points. And it's up 0.90%, while this is only down 0.19%. So, I mean, if you have a strategy that works that way where you correlate them together, I mean, so be it. Everyone has their own strategy, but I just want to tell you what I know. And I can tell you for sure that they're not correlated. And it's just like how it's like how the indexes are built up. Because let's pull up the Dow index real quick. So let me see if I can pull it up over here. Dow 30 index. And I just want to show you so that you understand. So let me show you real quick. Okay, so this is the Dow 30 index. If you look over here, there's only like one tech stock that's like a really big one. Well, maybe Apple. Okay, so there's like two, but Apple is more so for retail. It's not really meant for tech. Amazon is retail. So the only tech stock here, and the thing, Nvidia is not even on here right now. It's still Intel. So right now they haven't switched them out. Or have they? Oh no, it is here. Sorry, my bad. It's just, I don't know why it's down here. It's supposed to be in alphabetical order. So yeah, Nvidia is like the only main tech stock that is part of NASDAQ. I don't think any of these other ones are on there. Microsoft, actually. So the thing is, if you have two big names like this in the stock, then they should be moving in the same direction versus opposite. Nvidia is actually down right now. It's down 2 points, and Microsoft is also down. So you can see here that because there's only two tech stocks here, it doesn't weigh down the whole YM index versus like NASDAQ, which is probably weighed down because there's a lot of tech stocks that are struggling right now. All right, there's another CB pattern here that could be setting up soon, guys. We have a red low right here, and this candle here looks like it may be smaller. So this could be a possible entry again for the CB pattern. Let's see if I can maybe get into this one. Just gotta make sure that candle stays smaller, doesn't push up too high. So about 5 seconds on this candle. Entry kind of sucked on that one, but this would be a CB pattern right there. So again, this is what I don't really like about the market orders is that the entries are never really super great. But I'm going to see here if the stop loss gets moved in profit again. Like I said, guys, I'm taking these riskier entries here on the Apex accounts because I don't really care as much about them. If I make profit on the accounts, great. If I don't make profits on the accounts, it's okay. I still use proper risk on it, so I'm not necessarily YOLOing the account. I'm just taking the scalps as I see them because obviously there's a lot of scalps that come up. So I'm just taking the scalps as they come up, and then I'm still using proper risk. Like I'm not going full port on the account. Like one loss is not gonna blow the account, of course. Let's see. I should probably, I'll make the adjustment a little bit. Probably move this down so I'll just leave it as is. I don't want to adjust the TP stop losses because it's going to mess with the risk, especially because the entry was off by a few points. So the CB pattern over here actually got invalidated because the low got pushed down a little lower. So the low here was initially on this candle, and then it got invalidated because it got pushed down a little lower over here. I'm gonna leave it as is though. I'm just gonna hold on to it. If price doesn't push up, I'm probably going to I'm just gonna see what type of price action kind of shows if price is likely to push back up higher. Like if we get a buy signal, then could be good. But yeah, the CB pattern from earlier over here sort of got invalidated because of this. I'll put the text later. It got invalidated because price got pushed down lower. Earlier, this was the low, and now the low is over here. Man, the volatility is really low now. I just realized it's at 19 ATR. It was like at 30, almost 40 earlier. Now it's back down to 19. So what I'm going to be looking for here is a possible buy signal. If we get that buy signal where price pushes up, this here might climb up a little bit higher, but again, we need to wait for that buy signal here to show up. I'm not going to make any adjustments to the TP stop loss, even though the entry was a little bit off by a few points. I'm just going to leave it as is. Leave it as is and wait for the for this here to move. All right, so the volatility here is pretty much flat at this point, looks like. Yeah, ever since the price got down right here below the pivots, it's starting to flatten out a lot. Still got my trailing stop in place, so the only thing is that my entry is super off. So entry should have been right here. Yeah, I got off by like 4 points. The volatility was just a little high when the candle closed, which is all good. You know, when you enter at market, it's almost impossible to get in at proper entry, especially because the spread is currently 2 points. Usually it's not that high. It's like zero sometimes. All right, so we got the buy signal there that's currently pending. That's a good thing. So I'm gonna see here if my trailing stop, I'm hoping it works, but we'll see. All right, trailing, there you go. I got stopped out in profit.
Stop filled.
So you guys can see right there, my trailing stop automatically got pushed up and then it filled me out right there. Partial profit. All right, so not too bad right there. Again, this was a CV pattern. So I'm out of that position now. Got another win right there. So let me take a screenshot of this here. Another pivot scalp just came up right there right now. See if I get in right here. Man, I hate when the market entry, when I hit market and then it pulls back immediately after it. This would be considered a pivot scalp right here.
Order submitted.
Anyways, let me just put this over here in the chat. So like I said, guys, when I see these entries come up and they kind of line up with what I'm looking for, I'll just take them. And then, I mean, they're on my Apex account, so I don't care as much about them. So here are my profits so far. Took that CV pattern, gave me a little partial on that. So I'm up 2,300 right now per account. It's always interesting how these start to line up. How these start to line up when they were like a bit off previously. Okay, it looks like we're currently going to be right here in a sideways move. So at this point, my stop loss is probably going to get hit on this last trade. Now I'm going to just close this one out. Actually, I'll just leave it. I'll let it be. If it hits, it hits. I'm going to close that one out.
Order filled.
All right, so now what I'm going to do here, I think because market is going sideways, the best thing to take here now would be the V1 variation. So I need to look for these V1 variations to come up. There's actually a V1 variation that just came up here for a sell. Right there. That would have been a nice one. So I'll put here pivot scalp loss. So it looks like we might be shifting down the sells now. As you can see over here, we have the V1 variation that came up. So I look for a possible breakout V3 continuation to the downside now. So we got the V1 variation there. So like I said earlier, we were looking for these reversal patterns to the downside or to the upside. Actually, we had price come down, reversal right here, swing back up. Price came down right here, reversal came right back up. Now we have the reversal right here. So that's a pivot scalp loss, but then on top of that, there is a V1 variation win. That happened right after it. So I'm basically going to mark up like, I guess like all the strategies that come up now for the most part. Just keeps us more engaged in the market. So looking at this here, probably look for another swing to the downside. Right here, there's not going to be any entries because this is going to be opposite. We currently have a sell signal, buy signal right now, so we're actually looking for sells at the moment. But price is going sideways at the moment. If you want to trade within the range right here, I mean, you can do that as well. I'll see this real quick. Yeah, like I said, you could trade within the range right here, but I think the range is a little too tight. It's not even a range; it's more of consolidation. It is. It's a 40-point consolidation range. Which, I mean, technically, yeah, you can still catch some trades in between here. Like, for example, there's a V1 variation coming up right here. I wouldn't take this one because there's no pending signal, um, but it's a V1 pattern. So what I would personally be looking for here is I'd look for price to maybe come back up. So price came down right here. I'm looking for price to come back up and then give me a V1 from up here. And I'll catch it as it comes back down from that point. Let's see. 30. Okay, so these are the scalps that came up so far, guys, that I personally saw myself that I could see played through and that I actually took and looked for. So CV full TP here, pivot scalp full TP, BB3 full TP, CV partial TP, pivot scalp loss, variation one, V1 variation full TP. So there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and just one loss. So like I was saying before, guys, with these scalps, you can make a lot more money trading these scalps versus the breakout. With the breakout, you can make pretty consistent profit, you know, in a month's time. But for these scalps here, I mean, you can make, if not triple, if not quadruple profit, if not more. But you just have to do more work, obviously. You have to look for the entries to come up. You have to follow them. You have to take them, etc. There's just a lot more work involved with the scalps here. So looking back at that pivot scalp that I took earlier, man, I should have just held on to it. I closed out of it early, and it's now pushing back in a profit. Go figure. Yeah, 'cause I closed it out for a loss, and then here, let me check real quick. Let me see if it's still running. No, actually, it still would have stopped out. It's all good. Yeah, so this over here was a loss for sure. This pivot scalp would have lost for sure. I personally don't like taking pivot scalps as much, but because the market here has been super bullish, I was like, okay, this might be a good one. I should have waited for the breakout B3 continuation like we did earlier over here. Yeah, the BB3 would have been a better setup. The only reason I was a little more okay with this right here was because of the CV here. So I was like, oh, if the CV continues to play through, this will probably play through even further, but no, wouldn't have worked out. I was looking for a possible high-low scalp right here, but does not look like this candle is going to break past it. All right, so no high-low scalp right there. All right, looks like the volatility here is really starting to die down. So right now, it looks like price is just consolidating sideways between this higher point and this lower point. Looking over here on the clean chart, you can see it's a little more obvious. See if there's finally zones over here on the 1 minute. It's like one zone. Okay, no entry here. If these wicks touched, it would have been a double wick rejection. This could have been a V1 variation to the downside, but that there did not play through. All right, we got some team profits over here. Shannon locked in a profit of 446 on her first account and a total profit of 433 on her second account. Nice work, Shannon. Solid work right there for this morning. Again, here are my profits for the day. I'll keep looking for more opportunities here. So I'm looking for the sell signal to close. Once the sell signal closes, I'll look for a possible swing back to the upside. So the thing with this here is we got liquidity on both ends. So if this candle here closes red, this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation. I'll see how this candle here closes. There's at least some volatility behind it. All right, so if this candle here closes red, I'll probably take this as a breakout V3 continuation, and then let's see if I want to keep trading for the day. This candle's got about 10 seconds left on it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, the entry was like pretty crappy. Actually, this isn't an entry. I got to get out of this one. The candle did close red. So let me see if I can get out of this real quick. That was my mistake. Yeah, the candle actually didn't close red. It flickered at the last second. So I just moved my TP right there a little lower. So if it comes down a little bit, just close me out. So this here, it was supposed to close red. In order for us to have a breakout V3 continuation, the candle would have to close red. It didn't close red there, so there's no entry there. So I'm just gonna try to get out over here for a small profit or about break even. I just need to have it low enough so that if it spikes, it'll at least get me out for a little bit. There you go, full TP on that one. So I got it right there for a small profit,
Target
a
filled.
couple $100. Yeah, I think the market's pretty much a toss-up at this point, guys. I'm pretty okay with my profits for the day. Not super, super great, but I mean, they're okay for the most part. So you can see right there, I just got out for a small profit. You can see I entered right here, exited right there off that red candle. I'll put it right here. Stake DV3 entry. So in order for it to be a BV3, this had to close as a red sell signal with the red candle following it. This one over here is this one over here is currently set at, well, I mean, it wouldn't meet the criteria. The only reason I thought this was going to come down further is because there's liquidity right here sitting down below. But yeah, in order for this to be a BV3 like we took over here, there would have to be a red sell signal and a red candle following it. Right here, there was a buy signal and a green candle following it. That's why I took that as a BV3 for a buy. That was full TP. This one over here, I took it for a partial because it didn't actually close red. And I just moved it down slightly to get me out for a slight profit because I did see liquidity over here. So I saw a target for price to come down and reach. I mean, price might reverse from this point, but we'll see what happens here as we continue on. Users asking what's your profit like now? It's currently at about 1,000 per account. So user for tomorrow, or if you want to do it now, make sure to put a username for your user for like your Zoom name, because the support team is going to boot you from the room. They want to make sure that everybody has a username on their account. So user, just make sure that or who are you actually? I mean, I should know who you are. There hasn't been any new members in like in the previous. Like, yeah, you could just tell me who you are and I could tell the support team so they don't remove you. Because we haven't had any new members join in like forever. So everyone who's here should be familiar with who you are. All right, so looking at this right here. Can't hear me now, user? Okay, it's all good. I mean, you're gonna get removed tomorrow if you don't like put a name there. Unless you're Vamal and you just change your name to user, which I think that you probably are Vamal. All right, guys. So there's no entries here right now. This is a possible high-low. Never mind. It's not a high-low scalp. Or actually, no. So it's not a high-low scalp because this over here, um, this over here touched the lower low. So we had liquidity right here, just got hit. I mean, it blasted right through it. Um, and we have, let's see. All right, so we have price coming down right now. It's below the pivots. And we might have a swing to the downside. So like I said earlier, the target price point is going to be opening price right here. Let's see. So the target price right here, price drops lower, is going to be the opening price. Other than that, there's not really much else here to look at. There is a possible CV pattern right here, but price is now shifting to the downside, so there's not really going to be any entry here for us to take necessarily. If you guys want to take the CV pattern right here, you can. It's pretty below the pivots though, so I wouldn't take it because it's going against the current trend. But if you want to take it, I mean, you can. Can take it. Right here. All right, so looking at this right here so far, um, I mean, there's not really much going on, guys. So as you can see over here, price isn't really doing too much. Let's see where we're at. There's just nothing going on here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting messages on Discord right now. I'm just responding to people. All right. So looking at where price is currently at, there's just not very much going on. As you guys can see, price is just going back and forth between the pivots. What we really need here is we need price to push away from the pivot. So we need price to either push above it and continue climbing, or we need price to push below and continue dropping from here. We just don't have that happening right now. So there's nothing for me to take here specifically. Obviously, I'd like to take some buys here. There's a possible breakout V3 continuation that's coming up right here. It's going right back up to the sessions. I mean, not the sessions, to the above the pivots. So I think this is one that I would be okay with taking if it does close. As long as it doesn't close super big. If it closes way too big, then probably not. But the reason why I would be okay with taking this here is because there is a liquidity sitting up here, right? So let's see. This candle's got about, I just want to make sure the candle's not super, super big. About 10 seconds on this candle here. Okay, I'm closing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll take this here for a BB3. Got liquidity right there. My stop loss got moved in profit, I think. All right. Man, I hate when that happens. When it happens too quickly. Okay, I got pulled out in profit right there, guys. So
Order filled.
you guys heard the noise where it was like cha-ching, but it didn't actually move my stop loss in profit. So I had to do it manually, and then it ended up closing me out in profit right there. So I'm back in profit. I'm in profit about 2,260 right now. Well, let me just move this over. I'll put this. This is probably gonna hit CP, but I like that it pushed up to liquidity right there because that was like a good confluence. I'm like, okay, if price pushes up from where it's currently at, it's probably gonna go and reach that liquidity at least. So breakout B3, or I'll just put BB3. PB3, partial TP. So I have to really watch it. It's kind of annoying that I have to watch it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, of course. Right? So the BB3 did come up right there. I got out for a partial. I will post an updated. Actually, I don't know. I need to post the updated here. Yeah, let's leave it as is for right now. So let's see where we're currently at. Yeah, we're about the same. Anyways, I'm gonna take this off right now because I'm not in the position. I'll look for another entry here to get into. But if you guys like the way that I'm trading right now, just let me know. All feedback is welcome. If you guys don't like it this way and you want me to stick to only like very high quality entries, then let me know too. Because I don't want this to like throw people off. If some people are like used to just taking um high quality entries, that's fine. But like I said, I'm gonna take the riskier entries on my Apex accounts. I have two separate laptops for it. So I'm gonna do this for my Apex accounts, and then for my personal accounts in the hedge, I'm gonna stick to the breakout. But yeah, if you guys want to chime in and let me know, but you guys don't have to chime in, it's up to you. Yeah, Lila said I like it. Money is money. Yeah, I think it's just a little more funny because it makes the session go by a lot. What's going on here? Google updater. It makes the session go a lot more quicker, right? Because right now it's 7:42. I feel like we've only been on the session for a little bit because we've been looking at so many things at once. Versus if we're just waiting, there's not really too much to take, right? You kind of just sit around for a bit and it gets really, really boring. The fact here that we're fully engaged with the market, I think makes things a lot better for me personally. Yeah, Nikki said she loves this. Yeah, no, definitely. So if you guys like this, I'll keep doing this. I'll try to follow through and I'll take, I guess what we consider the riskier trades. And then we'll just go from there. I think it's just a little better for a lot of people here who are learning as well. For a lot of people who are still learning, this helps you guys understand what's going on a lot better instead of like being a little too cautious. It's good to be cautious, but when you're learning, you kind of want to take more risk because this is how you're going to get more chart time, right? The real thing with trading is that you need more chart time. I feel like a lot of people are looking for that, like they're looking for that holy grail, but realistically, you just need to have chart time. Like for example, here, you probably wouldn't have seen all of these entries that came up, right? Unless I marked them up for you. So I marked them up right here. I said CV, pivot scalp, BB3, pivot scalp, CV. Like in general, you guys probably would not have looked at these entries, right? Like you probably would never look at a CV pattern unless you knew what it was. Pivot scalps sometimes. I don't really like the pivot scalps. I don't know why I started taking them. I should just stick. I should not take them. I like the BB3s better than the pivot scalps. But there's gonna be some times where the pivot scalps do work better than others. Um, I just think today's not the day because we're not really having that directional push. We had a directional push right here earlier in the session, and then now it's going sideways. So now that price is going sideways like this, the ideal moves to take would be CVs or CV patterns or V1 variations. Those are probably going to be the best options for you guys to take. There's another breakout V3 continuation setting up right here, but I'm not going to take it because I don't think this here is going to, there's not very much of a direction right now. This here will probably play through because we have, well, it'll play through enough to hit the lower low right here, but not enough to hit the full 30. There you go. It's price push through, hit the liquidity. Yeah, because if you look over here, the 30-30 is kind of far out. I mean, it's not super far out, but it's a little far out compared to what we're normally looking at. All right. It looks like this is probably going to hit, man. I should have taken that BB3. It's all good. I just wasn't sure if price was finally going to break out. Ideally, like I said earlier, ideally, I think price is going to push down to the opening price. That's like where target price point is going to be. It's just the way that the market's currently moving. It's I can't really trust it as much. Like as much as if we were going in the direction that we're actually aiming for. Because the thing is, there's no liquidity sitting below here. This is like the only liquidity that was hit. There's no other liquidity that's sitting down here. If we had like a bunch of liquidity that's just hanging out down here, then okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, this might hit 30 points. Would have been a good entry too. Now I kind of wish I took it, but it's okay. Because at this point, my stop loss would have gotten moved in profit. So we would have gone down like, let's see, 10 points. So 10 points is right there. My stop loss would have gotten moved in profit to those 10 points. And then I could have either locked in a guaranteed 10 or I would have, and there you go, I would have got stopped out at 10 anyways. So my analysis that I just told you guys about, it's pretty much it lined up. I said it's probably going to come and blast through liquidity here, but it's going to be hard for it to reach the 30 points because the market is just going sideways. Here's a clean chart. Yeah, this is a clean chart right here. And fortunately, this is kind of where price is at. So, I mean, if price does reach new levels, like down here, ideally that'd be a good thing. But it looks like it's going to pull back into the range. I don't know. We'll see. This looks like this might be the new range for a bit. Either this is going to be the new range or price is going to pull back into this and this will go back into the regular range. It's been ranging here for the past hour almost. You can see right here. This is kind of where price stays. You can see right here, it kind of came down a little bit like it did right now. Faked out, came back up. Came down, faked out right here. So it looks like it's starting to fake out of the range. So like price will pull below, fake out back into the range. Maybe pull up above it, pull back into the range. This has kind of been the range for a while. So you can see over here, it started this range earlier. So right on open, it started the range right here. Faked out, pulled back into the range. Did a huge fake out right here. Pulled right back into the range. All right. And there we go, as it pulls right back into the range again. Almost a high-low, right, Daniel? I know there was one that was pending there, this is the buy signal, and it closed. This is what makes it a little tricky, because there just isn't very much. So there doesn't have to be very much direction, but there should be, at least to some extent. So this was a CV pattern right here, but it was below the pivot, so I wouldn't have taken it because it's going against the trend. We had a low here, big red candle, and followed by a smaller green candle. This is a CV pattern. It's not necessarily a CV entry. You can see our CV entries over here. When I take them like in the direction of the pivot so that I have some sort of bias. this was a CB pattern, but it wasn't a CB entry because the trend here was bearish and the CB pattern happened down here, right? So yeah, with that said, there's just not really much here to really follow through with. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put in the chat. I think today was pretty fun. Honestly, I think I haven't had this much fun trading in a while. Typically, we're kind of just on the same routine where we look for the breakout. We look for the breakout and we don't really take much else. But I think today was pretty fun because we had a lot of opportunities here. So I'll keep looking up entries like this and I'll keep taking them on my Apex accounts. If you guys want to take those trades with me, feel free. I think there's a lot of profitability. There's a lot more profit potential that you can cash here. Trading these scalps, of course. I know some of you guys like taking the breakout because it's a little more calculated. Like you can kind of anticipate certain days to be good, certain days to be bad. But with the scalps here, it's kind of a wild card, honestly, because you could have a really good, well, most of the time you'll have better days than not. Because if we have a loss and we end up like super deep, well, not super deep in the red. If we end up in the red to the point where I think I'm going to set my cap to like 2,000 per day. If I lose more than 2,000 in a day, then I'm gonna stop taking scalps. But for the most part, I mean, it's been working out pretty good for the day. So profit for the day was, where was it at? It was at 2,300. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all for a couple of scalps. I think I took maybe 3 or 4 entries. How many entries did I take? 1, 2. Actually, I took more. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took 6 entries. I took 6 entries. I had a 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, or 6 wins actually. Wait, I had 5 wins and 2 losses. I had 1 full loss right here. Actually, no, I had 5 wins and 1 loss. I had 1 full loss right here, and I had a partial right here for this one. So I just pulled it out earlier. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6 wins and 1 loss, which is pretty good. I mean, for some scalps. And then with the scalps, I have my trailing stop at 10 points. So I almost guarantee 10 points most of the time. And I go for the full 30. There's another breakout V3 continuation right here, guys. Which it might be okay with taking. Again, I don't like when the candle's super small though. It needs to be a little bigger. Because I'm gonna get into that accidental entry like I got into earlier with the sell. No, I'm gonna sit out of this one. Candle's too weak. I don't want to end up like what I did over here. This was like a dumb move. Because I knew the candle was weak and I still took it. And thankfully I got out for a small profit. But this right here for sure did not meet criteria. All right, guys. It is 7:53 right now. It's about to be 8 o'clock soon. As you guys can see, the volatility here has pretty much died out a bit. But we had some pretty good entries come up. So as you can see over here, I've marked them up by strategy. Again, if you guys are new here, if you guys want to review these strategies, I think this would be a good day to go and review, because if I'm going to go and do this every single day and mark up these entries, you guys should be aware of what strategies we're taking. So just make sure to go to the website. The website over here is kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access if you don't have access to it already. If you do have access to it, just log into the website, click on sign in right here. This is what the course looks like. It pretty much covers all the indicators that I have, all the strategies that I apply, directional, sideways, breakout strategies. Not all of them are going to be covered here, of course. I need to make a video for Market Flow V2. But other than that, for the most part, a lot of these are available. So if you guys want to go and review these entries, or these strategies, feel free to review them. Because this week we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff. It's going to be very fast paced. I'm not going to be teaching during the live session. I'm just going to be identifying entries and taking entries as they come up, just like we did today. So I'm pretty excited for us to do this. I haven't really been engaged in the market like this for a while because I've been so focused on taking more quality entries. But we'll have 2 sides of this live session. We'll have the breakout, which is going to be obviously the main conservative entry that we take, and then from there we'll take these more riskier scalps on my Apex accounts, since I'm trading on 2 different laptops. But yeah, guys, other than that, market here is pretty flat. My cutoff for trading is 8 o'clock, so I'm about to wrap it up right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can hit me up on Discord if you guys have any specific questions. If you guys just want to chat, feel free to chime into the team chat over here. I'm pretty much looking at the team chat all throughout the day. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can just pop your question in here. I'll answer your question, or somebody else in the group can answer your question. Otherwise, I think that's it. I'm going to look to see if there's more liquidity tomorrow. I'm going to try to squeeze in some liquidities into my trades. If not, I'll just take trades reaching up to liquidity like we have been doing today. So for example, here, if you're looking for some buys, you see prices pushing up to the liquidity. If you have any entries leading up to this liquidity, it's probably a good sign. Same with the opposite direction, right? Price comes down, trades leading down to the lower liquidity. At least you have a confluence down there for a target to reach in the direction of your trade. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, just a reminder for a lot of you guys here, none of you guys here that I see in the room so far have any issues. It's just if you don't have a username on your Zoom name, just please have a username because the support team will remove you from the live session. We have some people who are sneaking in. Some people like Lamal here. He sneaks in somehow. I don't know how he sneaks in. I'm gonna find out who's giving him the link to the Zoom. But this guy's ghosting me right now because I found him. I knew that was him with the user name. It's just his name's been getting pinged on the support team's been pinging his name for the longest. And I don't know. Maybe he's shy. He's scared. He doesn't want to respond to me on anything on Discord or anything. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.